For today's video, we are going to have a book haul. So the first book that I have right here in my book haul for this video is probably one of the best books in the bunch. It is The Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. I've been wanting to have The Kite Runner, which is also by the same author, but until now, I still don't have a copy of The Kite Runner. And ironically, I already have a copy of The Thousand Splendid Suns, which they said that Khaled Hosseini's best masterpiece is The Kite Runner. So yeah, I'll be grabbing The Kite Runner as soon as possible for next week if I have time. But this one, I got this one from Book Sale. It's a local thrift shop for books here in the Philippines, from Imo branch in Cebu. And this is hardbound, very nice jacket, and there's this very cute emblem, gold emblem inside. And this is quite damaged, but I think it's quite personal. It's only reasonable for the price. It's kind of cheap. It's 170 for a hardback of this quality of book. I checked the reviews of this book in Goodreads, and there's almost a million reviews already and ratings. It's published back in 2007, and it's very, very high reviews, around 4.3, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 4.3 for 900 ratings is very impressive. So I can't wait to read this one, but it's not on my alley. This is a fiction, but you know my type, guys. Type of books that I read. But I'll be reading this one. I'll be putting this one in on my Umbria TBR. And yeah, good. I don't want to talk about the story because I don't want to read the books. Currently, I decided and talk to myself that when I read books, I don't want to know much about the book. I want to start blind or start naked, not knowing anything about the books, because to lower expectations and not disappoint myself by the end by the end of reading the book or reading the last page. So the second book that I have here is I bought this together with this one. It is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I've read the original one, the Stephen Covey, the same author, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't have a physical copy, and I've been planning to buy a copy ever since I finished reading it. I read it last year, and unfortunately I still don't have a physical copy because it's very expensive. So when I saw this one, I read out second thought, I just grabbed this and I checked the table of contents, and somewhat all of the habits are just the same on the original book. But as I tried to skim this book, I think the difference is only the examples for every habit. So I might reread this one because it's very, very short, and I might recommend this one to my younger brothers. Hopefully they will be reading this one, because guys, if you haven't read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I suggest you need to. One of the books you need to read before you die. Alright, the next book that I have is again from Book Sale, and this is the first and third book of the Black Magician Trilogy by Frederick Canavan. This is a high fantasy. The second book is The Novice, and I failed to get a copy because I've already checked 3 branches of Book Sale here in Cebu, and I failed to have or to locate one, which is The Novice. So I only got book 1 and book 3. So if I'm going to try again next week, if I fail to look to grab a second copy of the second book of the trilogy, I might order it in Amazon. But this one is a high fantasy about the Guild of Magicians from the word. Yeah, very cheap. The next one is, I got this because I've heard a lot of good things about the author. He is a very cool and awesome fantasy writer. I always wanted to read his Clariel or Sabriel series, and that is Gardnix and his Shades Children. I bought this also from Book Sale for 20 pesos. When I checked Goodreads, this is a standalone. There's no series for this one, and this is a science fantasy post-dystopian book. It's about the children being kidnapped, and there's this guy who wants to save them against his High Lord, who trains these children in special abilities to use them against the government, etc. Very chaotic world. And that's it. And yeah, it's on my PBR list, but not on my top priority. So it's 20 pesos and it's Garfield, so why not do it? The next book that I have right now is, I bought this one because I am very excited to participate in the book signing event next month. Because the authors, yes, there's two of them, will be coming here in Cebu on November. I forgot the name, and I already have the copy, a copy of a book of the one of the author, and I'm a fan of the other author. And these are Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I'm a fan of Becky Albertalli from after reading Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, probably one of the best books I've read this year. I also love the Love Simon movie, the movie adaptation of Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. The only book I've read from Adam Silvera is They Both Die in the End, and I am not a fan. Probably one of the worst book I've read this year. And trivia, that's the first book I've read this year. Like back in January. I finished it in January. I started reading it January 1, I finished it January 1. It's a fast book, They Both Die in the End, but trash. Sorry, Adam, but I'll be meeting him next month. Probably I'll be asking his signature for this book. I've heard a lot of good things about this one, and it's cute to see love, LGBTQ again theme. It's about Ben and Arthur, and I don't really know much about this book. I don't want to know more about it before I read it. I don't want to have high expectations so that I won't disappoint myself. But there's a lot of good reviews about this one in Goodreads and in BookTube. So this is my PBR list. Cry by Neil Shusterman. You all know, guys, it's an auto-by author for me, Neil Shusterman. I am a big fan of his Everlost or Skinjacker trilogy. I have also his Full Build. I have Full Build. So I got this for 15 pesos in Pixel also. And yes, also Unwind. I have Unwind here. And Thunderhead and Sight, which is best sequel that I read this year. If you watch my mid-year book pick out, that most surprisingly is Sight. And I can't wait to read the third book of the Sight series, or Sight Religious The Ball, which is coming up next year. Going back to this book, this is a collaboration. It's a debut novel of his son, Jared Shusterman. So this is father and son collaboration. This is a dystopian book. This is about when California ran out of water. So this is a family trying to survive without the water, where the community is very chaotic. So quite interesting. And it's Neil Shusterman, guys. You cannot go wrong with Neil Shusterman. The next book that I have here, actually books, is a trilogy. This is the Stone Sky, the Broken Earth. The Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. The first book is this one. The 5th season, which I am currently reading. I am currently on page 86. And so far, I'm loving this. This is very epic. This is a winner of the Hugo Award 2016. This one is the winner of the Hugo Award for 2016. This is the winner of Hugo Award for 2017. And yo, Hugo Award, bro. What is a Hugo Award? It's king by me. So this is a trilogy. I bought this. It's very expensive. This trilogy, but because of the very good reviews and a lot of recommendations, when I saw the trilogy in National Bookstore, this is actually it won't fit. Yeah, it won't fit now because today's has the cover already. So yeah, probably display this on my collection also of book jackets. This is my jacket. Never mind. So yeah, this one is a epic high fantasy mixed with science fiction that will be happening centuries in the future, where there's no more Earth that we have now. It's quite complicated because I'm currently in the first book and the 86 page, and it's still in the world building, and honestly, it's very, very complicated. And I love complicated things, so I'm enjoying this one. So I'll be having a marathon for this trilogy. I'll do my best to finish this one before second semester starts. God bless me, because I'm still in grad school, so wish me luck. The next book that I have right now, I'm very excited for you guys to see this one because I'm a big fan. This is also an author by author for me. You know, I love Mistborn. I have Warbreaker and Mistborn, and that is Brandon Sanderson. And this is the first book of the Stormlight Archive, and this is The Way of Kings. The second one is, I forgot. I know the Oathbringer just came out this year. And guys, take a look at how thick this book is. Very intimidating read, but based on the reviews and recommendations, it's not as complicated as Mistborn. Imagine, I love Mistborn even though it's very complicated. Probably, I need to read Mistborn. One of the best fantasy books I've read in my entire life. And if this is less complicated than Mistborn and easily readable, then probably I can say this might be better than Mistborn. So I cannot wait to read this one. I'm planning to read this one during Christmas break because it's very, very thick. This is the perfect timing for me to read it Christmas break. And I'm quite sad because here in the Philippines, it's very rare for us to have a copy of Brandon Sanderson's book, not on a mass market paperback version. You know what I mean? On this kind of version, I think they don't publish this type of version. Or big ones, fluffy paperback ones. They don't have it here in the Philippines. We only have this one, so it's kind of cheap. But for this book, 480 pesos for a mass paperback pocketbook version, I think, is expensive because based on my experience, this version of books is only 300, around 315 or 380. But this is The Way of Kings. The last book for this video, for my book haul video, is The Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I've ordered this online. Thank you, Booknacks, by the way. Check this Booknacks Instagram. They have really great books they're selling, and if you can't find it in local bookstores, you can check their Instagram account. They're a legit seller. And yeah, they have already a copy of Muse of Nightmares hardbound, which fully booked in national bookstores and other local bookstores here in the Philippines don't have a copy yet or stock. So I purchased this one immediately and I saw it. And it cost me a lot of money, around 1,200 including shipping fee. But boy, I love this book. I love this book so much that no matter how expensive this one, I just grab it. I've been dreaming to read this book, and yes, I've read this one already. I finished reading this one 2 days ago, and it did not disappoint. It just even gets better. The story just evolved into something massive that I did not expect. If this one is 10 over 10, this one is 20 over 10. That's how good it is. I am a big fan of Laini Taylor now. If you haven't read Strange the Dreamer, I suggest you need to, so that you can experience the awesomeness that Muse of Nightmares have. I don't want to talk more about this book because I don't want to spoil you and to give away the important things that happen in this book on the first one, and because it will be counted also as a spoiler. So all I can say, guys, is just grab this one. This is a high fantasy young adult with thank you for watching. Ouch. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.